Well, hello, my name is Kyle Worsham, and welcome to Basic Guitar Training Part 2. If you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the first part, which taught you all the notes on the guitar fretboard. It's going to be very important for you to know that stuff, and so go ahead and finish that up, review, get all those notes down. Once you got those down, welcome to this video where we're going to learn how to do bar chords and major and minor chords of the guitar. What's going to be awesome after this video, if you master this one, you'll be able to play every basic note that you could ever want to play on the guitar. So keep watching this video and you'll learn everything you need to know. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. In basic music theory, if you watch the first video, you know that the basic chords are made up of 3 notes. Now that is the first, and what are the other 2 notes that combine into a chord? The third and the fifth. Today, what we're going to learn is how to put those first, thirds, and fifth into the guitar fretboard so that you are making major and minor chords to play any chord you want to on the guitar. Now, just for review, which one of the 3 triad notes do you drop in order to make a note a major or a minor? You should have said the third. And so let's go on to the guitar and learn how to play basic chords, starting with the E chord. Now, if you remember, this is the E string, the A string, the D string, the G string, B string, and E string. And for every bar chord, you're going to use every single one of those strings to make up your note. So let's start with the E chord. So to make an E chord, it looks like this. You might have seen this before. It sounds like this, but I want to tell you what's actually making up that chord. Now remember, basic theory says the triad, so if you think about this, we're playing 6 notes, but it's really only made up of 3 notes in different octaves. So let me tell you what they're made up of. So what string is this? Just open. It's the E string, so you're playing a E note. On the A string, this string, if you look, what note am I playing on that string? You should say B. Right. Now, in the key of E, what is your B? You should have said your 5. So that means we're playing the first and the fifth of the triad in just these 2 notes. Now, on the D string, what note is this? You should have said E. So that means this is just the 1, 5, 1 of the triad. Okay? To make up an E chord, what note is on the G string? The G sharp. Now on the E triad, what is your G sharp? It should have been your 3rd. So that means we're playing the 1, the 5, 1, and 3rd in the E chord. So we're playing an E chord right now. Now, to fill it out, we're playing every string, so what is this note that we're playing if it's open? You should say B, so that means you're playing another 5, just an octave up. You hear it? And then what is this string? An E. So you are just playing 3 chords on the guitar in that basic shape. So that is the basic bar chord structure using the top 4 strings. So let's go on to play other notes that are going to be helpful. So if you were going to play an F, all you do is move up and bar it, so make it a end of a guitar or like a capo. So some of you right now, because your fingers aren't very strong, are going to sound like this. Be sure to work on your finger strength by pressing that in and be aware of where your knuckle is, because sometimes your knuckle doesn't have any strength, so it's going to get in the way like this. You see how those don't sound good? So to practice that, you need to go. You see how that one's wrong? So I'd push it in more to make sure that I was doing it right. So go ahead and work on your finger strength there. Okay, let's go on and play A. So what I would do first is I would find where the A is on my E string, because I'm working on this bar chord on these 4 strings. You're using all, but just imagine you're using your fingers for the top 4. So what I would do first is I would look for where the A is on the E string, because I'm using the E string as my primary string. And so I would look and say, I know the A string's right there, and I know the E shape is what I use to make that chord. So that is an A chord. All right, let's play a C. Now you should tell me where the C is. If you put your hand right here, you're correct. That is a C chord. Now remember, what is this string? Or what is this note? What number? The 5 or the 5th. Which one's this? The octave to the 1. And which one's this? The 3rd. Now what's this? It's another 5th. And what's this? A 1 2 octaves up from the original. Okay? Now, going back to the number system, how do you make a C major a C minor? You drop the 3rd. So which finger would I drop to make this a 3rd? If you said the middle finger, that's correct. Now, how far do I drop it? 1 step. So that means I need to lift up this finger and drop it a fret to make it a minor. All right, go ahead and work through your whole neck using the E as your primary string, and be telling me which chord you're playing. So this would be an F sharp, or sorry, an F sharp, G, G sharp, A, so on and so forth. And then go ahead and play all your minors. And be able to differentiate between a major and a minor. Okay? Now let's go on to the A string as your primary note. If you know that the A string, so let's play a C major on the A string. So I find the C. I know this is the 5th. What is this one again? It's another 1. And this is where it gets different from the E string. Now, some of you will be able to play like this, where you can basically bar with your ring finger. My knuckle doesn't allow me to do that, so I rarely do that. I just play it open and mute or bar that string, but I usually mute it because it sounds, it's a suspension here. Some of you will be able to do that. Some of you could do it like this. And that's what a natural C major would sound like. So, because that's a natural C major, which one's my 3rd out of those 4 strings? Should be where your pinky is. So how do you make it a minor? You drop the 3rd, so how would I do that? I would play it like this. Do you see that? So what I would encourage you to do, unless you can play it like that, some people actually can, and maybe you can work on your strength to do that. What I encourage you to do is just mute that B string and play it like that, as well as muting your top string. It should sound like that, and to make it a minor, you just go like that, and then I'm putting my index finger up against this so it doesn't ring, and it sounds like that. Okay? So go ahead and walk up your neck with all your majors, C, C sharp, D. Those are the chords, and then do all your minors. A sharp minor. That is A minor. Great job, guys. G sharp minor, G minor, F sharp minor. Now, those are the primary chords you're ever going to play unless you move on to lead guitar. Now, why is it important that you know all the notes and all the shapes? Well, when you're playing lead lines, usually you're playing bar chords higher up on the neck. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the higher chords so that you can learn what you're playing when you're playing lead lines. You might be playing one note, but sometimes you're actually playing chords at a higher octave than your rhythm guitar player. So this is how that works. So keep watching, but go ahead and review before you move on. So starting with your D string, you would play, let's play a F. This is your 5. Now, what's weird about the B string is that you have to move up a half fret because remember when we were tuning, the B or the G string, the B string is 1 fret lower than the normal 5. So you have to move up your pinky or furthest finger away from your 1 up 1 fret. So instead of playing it normally like this, that's a suspension or playing a 1/7 suspension. So you move it up 1 fret or 1 half step. And it'll sound like this to get your 1, 5, 1. And usually your third is going to be here, but most players don't play it that full. If they do play it that full, they're just playing it like the normal D shape. Okay? So what they do is just play those 3 notes and bar that. If you want to know how to make your major, is make a D shape with your bar, and then the minor is that dropping it down like that. But most people will just play it like this, and be sure to mute all the rest of your strings. Okay? Now if you're going to try to do some more major minor, I would tell you just to mute these 3 and just do this, and there's your minors like that. Okay? So go ahead and learn that. So you're playing your 1, your 5, and then what's this note? 1. If you play it like this, it's going to be a suspension. It's going to be a 1/7 suspension. Why is that a 7th? This is your 1. You drop it to your 7th. Okay? And then if you want to learn, there's the minor, and the full is the major. Okay? So as you learn guitar, it's going to be based around all of those different chords, major and minor. There will be other different ways to play those, but those are the basic ways to play all your major and minor chords up and down the guitar. So for review, go ahead and work on all your E shape or E string chords, your A chords. So what am I playing right there? You say B major. What is this? A B minor. What is this? C sharp minor. What's this? G sharp major. So go ahead and review all your E and A and then move on to your D. So what is this? That's a G major. So what would a rhythm player be playing? He'd be playing something like this. And the lead player would be playing something like this during a chorus of a big part of a song. So since we've learned all the major and minor chords up and down the guitar, I wanted to go back to the very basics, music theory. If you haven't watched the number system and looked at the theory behind everything, go ahead and watch that. It's going to make more clear. But since we did that from the piano, I wanted to show you how it's working with the guitar with every major and minor chord. So simply because we play in major keys 99% of the time, I'm going to show you the major scale and how they're working together with the bar chords we've learned today. So let's go through the scale of E. So that's a E major chord. So if you remember from that video, we said it is, in any scale, major scale, it is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So the frets in the guitar equal half steps. So if you start from E, it would be whole step. Now, is this a major or minor? It's your 2. You should have said minor. So it'd be a F sharp minor. Your 3 would be a whole step up again. So it'd be a G sharp minor. So remember, it's a 1/3. So how you would play that, don't worry about it too much, but in basic, if you're going to be playing a 1/3, just go back to your 1 again. Okay? Your 4 would be a, in the key of E, an A major. So whole step, half step, whole step, B major, whole step. So this would be a C sharp minor. Whole step, which would be a 7 or a diminished chord. So since it's really hard to play a diminished, you're never going to use it. We would play a 5/7. So you go back to your 5 and then back to your 1. Okay, so let's do that with the key of G. So what is your 1 in the key of G? It's G major. Now how would you play it on the guitar? If you said here, you're correct. If you said here, you're correct. So what's your 2? It's A minor. How would you play that using your E as your primary note? A minor. Finger strength, get that down. Your 3 is a 1/3, so you go back and play your 1 again. Allow your bass to play the 3. And what's your 4 in the key of G? C major. So if you played this, or what's the other way to play it? Using your A string as your primary. And even if you played it like this, you're correct. All right, what's your 5? D major. And then what's your 6? E minor. Okay. And then your 7 would be a 5. So you play a D. So to 5 over 7, and then back to your 1. Sweet. That's how that all works. So in the key of E, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, and then your major and minor chords go along with that. Thanks for watching this video. For review, keep walking through each part of the guitar, major and minor chords, so you can learn every basic chord you can play on the guitar. Remember to review your 1, 3, and 5 out of your triads to know how things are working together. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.